Hey guys, welcome to another unboxing from Random Reviews. Today I've got the new Nintendo 3DS XL to take a look at. So let's get right in. So I just got this in the mail today. Just came out here recently in the US and I wanted to check it out. As you can see, this model looks very similar to the previous 3DS XL, and they just made some minor improvements here and there. More of a mid-cycle refresh, I guess you could say, of what's been a fairly well-selling device for Nintendo. So we've got super stable 3D, built-in Amiibo and NFC support. You do have the C-Stick now, so they've given you this little nub that reminds me a lot of the nub on a ThinkPad notebook. Faster processor in this one. And this reminds me, too, that there's one very unusual thing about this particular unit, and that's the fact that it does not include an AC adapter. And I know this has been talked about quite a lot in the reviews of the unit, that it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I was able to pick up one today for $9 from Walmart, so wasn't a huge deal, but why it's not included in the box, you've got me. I think that's something only Nintendo knows. So on the side, we've just got some warnings here. This side, nothing really. Nothing on the top. On the back, some more warnings. Plenty of warnings. And let's see what we've got. So, the new Nintendo 3DS XL system combines next-generation portable gaming with super stable 3D technology and added control features. Take 3D photos, connect with friends, and enhance your gaming experiences with added Amiibo support. So it does play all Nintendo DS games, however they will not appear in 3D. Got a few other displays or features here. So the eShop, the Miiverse, 3DS camera, Mii Maker, and so on and so forth. Pretty much all the standard fare there. And that's pretty much it. So let's dive right into the box and see what we've got. So we've got our requisite manuals here, just one, quick start guide. They do give you a couple AR cards to get started with. Got the unit itself, and that is it. So again, no AC adapter in this particular model, although I did pick up one, as I mentioned before. So $9, and I'm sure you could probably pick them up even cheaper off of Amazon. So not the end of the world. So here's the unit itself. I did pick up the red version. Thought that was a little bit different from the black. And looking closely at it, it's actually got a really cool finish to it. So I'm not sure if that will pick up on the camera or not. It's probably not going to be able to focus on it, but it's got very fine lines. So it has a very metallic look to it. It's quite nice. So let's look around the unit. So of course on the top we've got our two cameras for that 3D effect. On this side we've got our slot for our games. Our headphone jack is here. We've got our stylus and our power button, as well as a charging indicator and your Wi-Fi indicator there. Nothing on this side except for our 3D effect toggle. On the back, so this is on this particular version, we've got a rocker here, and it's also doubles as your camera button. You've got your other button here, the ZL, ZR here, another button here, also a camera shutter button. You've got, I think that's the infra communicator there, your charging port, as well as the docking connectors, and I think that's the spot for your lanyard. On the back, nothing there. So this particular unit, in order to be able to install a micro SD card to store your games on, you do have to take the back off. So I know that was another kind of sticking point with this particular update, something that people didn't understand why they did that. Again, I'm not really sure why, but you do have to unscrew this back cover to get to the micro SD card slot in order to access that. We'll open it up. So again, looks pretty similar to probably what you're used to if you've seen a 3DS or XL or any of other the devices in Nintendo's lineup over the past few years. However, this one does have that added C-stick there. It's got a nice rubbery feel to it. Good feel to the buttons and the pad. So I'm going to pause the video and get this started up, and we'll take a tour around the operating system and see if it really is any faster than the older model. Alright, so got the unit powered up and had to go through an update process. Everything is good to go now though. So let's just take a quick look around the operating system and see just how well it flows. So right off the bat, it does seem fairly speedy. No issues there. Taking a look at, let's see what we've already got pre-installed on the device that we might could take a look at. So we could take a look at the actual eShop. So one thing I noticed when I was setting this up is that the Super Stable 3D actually uses the camera there to track your head. And what's cool about that is that even when you turn the device side to side, where before you may have lost that 3D effect, it's able to keep it a little bit more consistently. So even though I moved the device up and down, side to side, I was still able to view the actual 3D effects. So that is pretty cool. And also, if you have some issues with viewing 3D content, then maybe it'll be a little bit easier on you, since it won't be dropping out of the 2D 3D so much. So it probably won't affect your vision negatively as bad as the older version. So let's go into the eShop here for a second and see how this works. So we'll say yes, okay. Okay. And when you set up the system, it did give you a chance to bring over some information if you did have an older 3DS or 3DS XL. So you can actually transfer that information over, and it would give you the opportunity to put in your micro SD card into this device and transfer over any game saves or apps and things of that nature. But I didn't already have one, so I had nothing to bring over to this system. So I don't have any games currently installed that I can really show you. But just moving around the operating system itself, it's very fluid. And I did own the 3DS XL before this. It's been some time since I played with it, but this does seem a good bit faster at being able to move around the operating system. Maybe that's just my imagination, but it's definitely not hanging up on me at any point that I've seen so far. So that's really good enough, I suppose. We'll go back to the home screen and take a look at something else. So we've got the camera. We could go into that. Alright. Again, you can use the buttons on the back to be able to take a picture. Not going to be the greatest pictures in the world, but you do get that 3D effect, so it's kind of cool to play around with, and I'm sure kids will get a lot more enjoyment out of it than I would. So that's just a couple quick things about the unit. It's pretty cool. Update to the previous version. I think that, just looking at the different additions, that there's definitely some positives there. Not a big fan of the fact that you now have to unscrew the back to be able to access the micro SD card slot. Of course, if you're like me, once you put it in, it's probably going to stay there. So I'm sure for the majority of people that won't be a big deal. And then the AC adapter, not a fan of the fact that they don't include it in the box. But again, it's a minor problem. Nintendo actually said that one of the reasons they didn't do it is that they expect that most of their customers probably own a previous unit, and this adapter has been the same all the way back to the original DS. So yes, they're probably right. You probably do have one laying around, and if you don't, you can pick up one for less than $10. So it's not the worst thing in the world. If you do have any other questions or comments, hit me up and let me know, and I'll try to answer them for you. And after I get a chance to play some games with this and get a little bit more hands-on time, I'll probably come back and give an update as well. Appreciate your time. Thanks again.